Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist Barbecue. I'm Jeremy Yoder, and today we're cooking top blade. This cut of beef has been heralded as a replacement for brisket because it's cheaper, it's a little bit smaller, and it could be even better than brisket. Stick around, I'm going to show you all the details. So, top blade. If you haven't heard of it, it comes from the shoulder clod. And shoulder clod and brisket are kind of the backbone, no pun intended, of traditional Central Texas barbecue. If you go to a place like Kreitz Market, you find shoulder clod, you find brisket, and that's really kind of the sense, the aura of what you're trying to create in Central Texas barbecue. Now, this cut, the top blade, is a portion of the shoulder clod. Now remember, shoulder clod has multiple muscles, and even in this cut, we have multiple muscles, and we have a little bit of connective tissue running in between them. Oftentimes, these two muscles that make up the top blade get split apart and sold as flat iron steaks. One of the beautiful things about this cut is it's actually a tremendously high quality cut of beef. The two cuts that make it up are the infraspinatus and the teres minor. So a lot of times these get called the most tender cuts of beef that aren't filet mignon. So if we can take this, keep it juicy, cook it like we would cook a brisket, get all of those great smoke flavors and have something that's tender and juicy and packed with flavor, then I think we find a real winner. But there's no way to know until we test it out. Today we're cooking two different top blades. The first is a Creekstone Choice, and this is something that's widely available, and this is going to serve as our baseline for what you can achieve if you get one of these no matter where you are in the country. And then we have an Akaushi top blade, so there should be more marbling in this, and we're going to see, does it really matter? The top blade has a little bit more connective tissue than a brisket and a little bit less fat, but it might strike the perfect balance between brisket and something like beef cheek, whereas beef cheek has so much connective tissue that it has a bunch of collagen that becomes gelatin, and that may or may not be a good thing for you. What I think this might do is strike the perfect balance between those two and be cheaper and easier to find than both. And much like a brisket, there's a top side that has fat on it and an underside that's got a little bit of silver skin. For this case, we're going to trim off some of the silver skin on the bottom. We're going to leave the fat on the top. We're going to season it with salt and pepper and then a little bit of seasoned salt. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's get these trimmed and ready to season. To season these up, I'm going to use a 50-50 mix of 16 mesh black pepper and diamond crystal kosher salt. And then I'm going to use this, Fiesta Season It All. This is like the secret weapon of a lot of the best barbecue places that I've been to. I highly recommend you try it. You can go search it. I'll put a link in the description if you don't want to use that link. If you want to try it on your own, by all means, just go search it online. This is incredibly good stuff. Warning, it does have MSG, so if you're trying to avoid MSG, maybe stay away from it. If you don't mind MSG, this is the best thing that I have found. It will probably replace 98% of the rubs that you have in your pantry. So, I'm gonna do a layer of salt and pepper. I'm gonna cover it over with some of this. There's not a lot of sodium in this, so you can use plenty of it without the risk of oversalting. Let's get these ready, let's get them on. So the trim on these, crazy easy. I'm just cutting off anything that's really thin or hanging on. And then we season them. The total prep time for each of these is maybe 3 minutes, which is a lot faster than most people can trim a brisket, get it seasoned, and get it ready to put on. So that's already working in its favor. Also, this Creekstone Choice brisket. See, I'm already calling it brisket. It's not brisket, it's top blade. This Creekstone Choice top blade in front of me here is $25. It's about 5 pounds. So for 25 bucks, you could probably feed your whole family with something that has a lot of the goodness of brisket. We don't know till we cook it. Let's find out. All right, I've got them on the pit. This is the Creekstone Choice. This is the Akaushi. We have a thick side and a thin side similar to a brisket. We have a lean side on the bottom. We have the meat side and the fat side on top. And we're gonna close these up, and everybody's gonna ask me, so let me tell you right now. We're gonna start off at 200 degrees. I'm using pecan wood. I want 200 and smoky for the first couple of hours, then probably up to 250, maybe 275. So we're cooking these on the solution offset smoker. This is my pit, not just that I bought it, but I designed it, and we're making them entirely in the United States. It's 1/4-inch thick steel. It's $24.99. If you want one, we can build you one in about 7 days. It's on my website, and I'm very proud of it. I hope you guys go check it out. Now it's time to give credit where credit is due. I didn't independently come up with the idea to cook this thing like a brisket. The first time I heard about somebody doing something like this, my brother had gone to Leroy and Lewis, and he told me about these flat irons that he had at Leroy and Lewis and how incredible they were. It was the best thing on the menu, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And then people from my Patreon, specifically Chris from Lone Mountain Barbecue, told me that he's been cooking them and he likes them more than brisket. At first, I was so hurt and offended that I didn't know how to respond, but eventually I got over it and I said, tell me more. And we're gonna be trying it out today. So what I want for you guys is to be able to make the best food that you can make, the food that you like best. And we're gonna give you honest feedback on this. If I don't care for it, you'll know. If I think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, you'll know. Either way, let's settle in for an awesome cook, and I really wanna see how similar this is to brisket and what the biggest differences are. Okay guys, it's been about 4 hours, and we did the first 2 hours at about 200 degrees, and the second 2 hours at 250. I think we're probably gonna stay at about 250, but I'm gonna open the door, we're gonna take a peek, and we're gonna see how far along we are and get the temperature. Nice, in the stall already at 4 hours in. It's starting to look like a little mini brisket, actually, this one especially. So I think that's actually really cool. I think what I'll probably do, everything still feels soft here, all still soft. I think you're gonna let it ride. So I think at this point we're just gonna keep going. I might put a little foil cap on either end if it starts to get crusty. Apart from that, we might just let it go all the way until it reaches tenderness. I've heard people pulling them off at 185, people pulling them off at 200, and for a flat iron steak, you should probably pull it off at medium rare. But these aren't those steaks, and I think we're gonna take them to somewhere between 185 and 200. So I'm gonna let it keep going. If necessary, I'll probably wrap it in butcher paper and tallow like I would a brisket. But as it stands right now, because the cook is relatively short, I think we're just gonna let it keep rolling. All right, while I have this top blade smoking away like a mini brisket, I'm gonna try something else that I can't do with brisket. I'm gonna separate this into the two muscles, and then I'm gonna cook it like a flat iron steak, because that's really all that it is. If you tried this with a brisket, you'd have a horrible, chewy, not very appetizing piece of meat. With this, I think you can smoke it, or you can definitely cook it as a steak. We're gonna have to wait a minute to see how it is smoked, but as a steak, let's find out right now. Dual purpose. Ta-da. Here we have steak number one. As you guys can see, when we slice into the smoked top blade, we're gonna have this layer of connective tissue because these are really two muscles with some connective tissue in between. So if we separate those muscles, we can also cook them as a steak. But we need the long cook time to break down the connective tissue well. All right, I'm gonna separate these as best I can and give them a try. All right, I separated the muscles, cut off some steaks. I picked one from each side. We're gonna cook them in this carbon steel pan. While I have this pan heating up, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Made In Cookware. They make the best cookware that I've ever used. And I've tried a bunch of different cookware, different pots and pans. I've tried cast iron, I've tried all kinds of stuff. And with Made In, I found the best value for money and just the flat out best performing cookware that I've ever used. There's a reason why it has over 100,000 five-star reviews for Made In products online, and it's used in some of the best restaurants in the world, including multiple Michelin star restaurants. Normally my favorite steak is filet mignon, and guess what? Maybe this makes me a bad barbecue guy, but the only way I cook steaks now is in carbon steel. You can use the carbon steel griddle, you can use the big carbon steel round that Made In makes. All of them make great steaks. Why? Because of conductivity. This carbon steel conducts heat to the meat and gives you that sear that you're after that you don't really get by cooking open fire, by putting it in a smoker, or even by putting it in a grill. And I think it's even better than what you can get with an infrared burner. Simply, this method of heat transfer is the best for cooking steaks because you get the perfect sear. And then with this, Once you have the sear, you can take this and put it in an oven. You can put it over open fire. This pan right here is safe to up to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is truly remarkable. Unlike cast iron, this is light, it's maneuverable, it's got a far more ergonomic handle. I like absolutely everything about this pan. I use it all the time. I know that if you guys try it, you're gonna love it. And the best part about using these is the more you use them, the better they perform, because each layer forms more of a non-stick coating. And in a world where you're worried about different coatings and what they might do, with carbon steel, you don't have to worry about that at all. This is a time-honored tradition of seasoned metal that you use to cook your food. This is a purchase you will not regret. All right, let me put some Wagyu tallow in here. There we go, this thing is nice and hot. Exactly what I like to see. Also, because you can use this at extraordinarily high temperatures, you don't have to worry about smoking up your house if you're gonna be cooking outside like I do. Let the salt penetrate for a little bit. We got the tallow ripping hot. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Steak. Looks pretty good. That is incredible. I can't believe how tender it is, Erica. This is gorgeous. Unbelievably good. Tremendously impressed. Erica's pregnant. She's going to get this end piece. I'll try an end piece here.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Maillard reaction browning on the outside. Extremely tender. I don't know where flat iron steak has been my whole life, but I'm glad I found it now. Try doing that with a brisket. In the words of John Gruden, pretty spectacular, man. Oh. It's so good, I had a whole steak. Check out Made In's carbon steel collection that I highly recommend, and their other collections like their non-stick and stainless steel. I've used them all, and let me tell you, they're incredible. Check out the link in the description to save on your order. 5.5 hours in, we're at about 170 degrees. Let me show you what these things look like, and then I think we're gonna wrap them. Little mini tiny brisket number one. Looks actually kind of cool. Instead of 2 sheets of butcher paper, I'm gonna try and wrap in just one. Doesn't this look like just a mini brisket?
Yeah.
Like the world's smallest brisket? It's like a little bitty brisket. Pretty wild. That's rendering well, if I can see that. Okay. Mini brisket, back on. All right, we're gonna rock at 275 from now until when the cook's over. I'm gonna take them, leave them at room temperature. I'll pull them at probably 195. I'll let you know, but probably 195, then I'm gonna let them cool at room temperature. Then in the warmer at 145 degrees overnight, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow. We're gonna see how these things really are. Full transparency time. It's cold out here. I don't wanna keep coming out here. So, I'm gonna take these and put them in the oven to finish. These have cooked really fast so far, so like 5 hours, a little over 5 hours. And so I'm guessing 2 hours in the oven, these should be done, maybe less. All right guys, it's the next day and these have been in the warmer for about 16 hours. And that may sound crazy to you, but Texas barbecue restaurants, that's kind of par for the course. And I think probably that 12 to 16 hour mark is ideal. And I wanted to see how these hold up with a long rest like you would do with a brisket. So we have the Akaushi and we have the Creekstone Choice. Let's start with the Creekstone Choice, unwrap it, slice it up, give it a taste test, and see what we got. All right. You can see some of the fat kind of lifted up here, but let's see how these kind of burn ends would look. So here you guys can see, got the two muscles and great smoke ring, nice bark on the outside, still juicy. We've broken down that connective tissue pretty well. Let's do some more slices and then check this out. Looks pretty good. This one we pulled out at 193, and the Akaushi we pulled out at 188. They both felt about right. Let's try it. I don't know if I would do such a long rest. As you guys can see here, that kind of gelatinous layer should be broken down, but it's not as gelatinous as you get with beef cheek. So let's see. The steaks were unbelievable. Let's try this. Ooh. Wow, that's pretty phenomenal. If a beef cheek and a brisket had a baby, it would be this cut. It's not overly rich. It's really, really good. It's kind of a hybrid between lean and fatty brisket. I really, really like this a lot. I'm very, very impressed. Let me try one of these burnt ends and then we'll move on to the Akaushi. Barky, smoky, salty. So good. Oh, look at that guy. The world's smallest brisket is what it looks like. Got the fat layer. It's rendered really well. Everything is still super juicy. See all the juice coming out there? Then we have this big band of connective tissue that's turned into gelatin. I think if you integrate this into something like a taco, it'd be really good and you won't be like chewing on any fat. But let's taste it. I'm gonna try it with and without the connective tissue. So I'll cut this. All right. So no connective tissue. Let's try this. Akaushi. Wow. Really good. With the connective tissue, we're going to find out if it's delicious or gross. Oh. Even better. That is so good. So, top blade. It is smaller. It is faster. The total cook time is about 7 hours. It is cheaper. And it may be better than brisket. I wouldn't go that far, but I'd say it's as good as brisket. And if you want something that's kind of somewhere in between fatty brisket and lean brisket, you don't want to break the bank and you want something that's going to be fairly easy to cook and fairly quick, I think that this should take over as the cut for the backyard because of all those reasons. And the side benefit that I wasn't really expecting, but I was blown away by the quality, is the steak. So you can cut this into steaks, cook it medium rare. It's incredible. You can put it on the smoker, smoke it for 7 hours. It's also incredible. Do I think it's ever going to replace brisket as the king of barbecue? I don't know about that. But if I were in your shoes, I'd find some supplier who sells this and I'd order a whole bunch before other people do and the price starts to skyrocket. So get out there, try it. I think you guys are going to be very happy with what you turn out. If you cook one of these top blades, you can cut it into flat irons, do whatever you want. Either way, I think you're going to be really happy. So I would encourage you to check it out. I don't have any financial interest in this. I'm not partnered with any kind of meat company on this. Find your local supplier where you can get these and definitely give them a shot. If you guys enjoyed the video, you can hit the like button down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, X, everywhere at Mad Scientist Barbecue, also on Patreon. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.